everyone, so today I'm going to be doing my palette review for the month of May. Also, like last week I uploaded like my eyeshadow palette collection, and I was kind of afraid to put the video up because I thought people are gonna think you are insane for having that many eyeshadow palettes, but it has been getting more views, so I'm actually kind of surprised. I thought it would just, you know, get the usual 25 views because yeah, I just didn't know if people would be interested in that, but that one has been getting more views, so I guess you guys are interested in that. If you want to see any more like collection videos, let me know if that's something you want to see, or if not, that's totally fine as well. But yeah, so I will get into this month's monthly palette. My palette for this month was the Dose of Colors Ice Cream palette. This is what it looks like. So I've been using this one all month, and here's what all the colors inside look like. So to be honest, I really didn't find myself that, you know, excited to use this palette. You know, I thought at the beginning of the month, whenever I was first getting to use this palette, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna really enjoy this because there's so many like really fun pops of color to use. But overall, I just really, I don't know, I got so tired of this palette so fast. I think after about like the first like week, I was kind of like, okay, I don't really know how to like, I don't know, get different looks out of this, and I found myself just kind of going back to the same thing over and over. I think color-wise it was really like fun and like nice to look at, but as far as actually using it on my eyes, I don't know, some of the shimmers kind of, they're not bad, but they weren't really performing the way I wanted them to. I feel like with these I have to definitely apply them wet to kind of get like a really intense kind of shimmer look, which is kind of how I prefer my shimmers to be. I felt like the mattes were all pretty nice with the exception of this one here. This is the Lavender Honey color, which is like honestly like color-wise one of my favorite colors in the whole palette, so I was really kind of disappointed at how it didn't really perform as well as I wanted it to. I did end up creating like one of my favorite looks of this month with that purple color. I'll have like a little clip or a picture here of that look. I really love how that look turned out. I thought it was so pretty, but the problem with that was that this purple shadow just was so incredibly sheer. What I ended up doing was using like a color base, so I actually mixed some of my the Semi Pro multicolors that I did a whole video review on. I ended up mixing like the blue and the red and a little bit of the white to create a purple color, and that is what I used as the base, and then I applied a little bit of the purple shadow on top. So most of that, to be honest, really was the actual colored base showing through and not really so much of the actual shadow, because the shadow just, I don't know, it's a little bit more of like a hard pressed shadow. The color payoff of it like just wasn't that great. Like it looks really pretty right here swatched on my finger, but like actually applying this to my eye, it just didn't really apply that well. So again, if I show it here swatched, like that looks really nice, but it would not build up this way onto my eye with like a brush, and you know, applying mattes with my fingers is also not my favorite thing, so it just, I don't know, it just really kind of took me by surprise that I didn't enjoy this palette as much as I thought I would have. I feel very conflicted about this palette because it's kind of one that's, I'm kind of leaning towards like decluttering, but then I think about it and I'm like, oh, but it's so pretty, the colors are so pretty, and it's not that the shadows were like bad. I mean, they definitely weren't bad shadows at all, but some of them just really, I don't know, they just didn't, I don't know. I do kind of like how my makeup turned out today. I kind of did a little bit of the mint chip color, and then I also did the sherbet kind of coppery color here, and I did that on the lid, and then I did a little bit of like cone and hot fudge on the outer corner to kind of like do the crease. I kind of like how this looked, but I've got so many shadows that I could do this look with as well, so I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards probably decluttering this palette, which honestly breaks my heart because this wasn't even a cheap palette at all. This was about 50 bucks, and I think it came out about 2 years ago. And I actually went back and watched my review video of when I first got this, and then like when I first tried it, and I had mentioned that, you know, I was a little wary about that purple color then as well, but I was like, oh, I'm really happy I have this palette, I don't regret buying it. 2 years later, I kind of feel like I do regret buying this. I mean, overall, it just kind of breaks my heart to say that, but I don't know. This probably will be a palette that I'm going to be be decluttering. Again, I'm gonna hang on to all of them until the end of the year so I can like show all the palettes I'm keeping and all the ones I'm decluttering. But yeah, I think this one's gonna go in my declutter pile. I also didn't take as many pictures. I don't really think I took any pictures at all, to be honest, of all the looks that I did with it. In the past few months, I was a little bit better at including like some looks that I'd done with the palette to kind of show different, you know, ways to use it. But I was just so, I don't know, there was just something about this. I just didn't enjoy using it, so I didn't want to use it. I think there was only like 1 or 2 times that I ended up using a different palette for this month, but overall, I was kind of sad. So I don't have really as many pictures or anything to insert to show you the different looks I've done. You can go through and look at like some of my videos I uploaded this month, but again, I don't really have that many pictures because I just wasn't feeling very, I don't know, very inspired or very, I guess, excited to use this palette. So right now I'm kind of like, would you rather have this palette or would you rather have 50 bucks? I kind of want my 50 bucks back. So for the month of June, this is the palette that I'm going to be using. This one is from BH Cosmetics. It's called the Bronze Paradise palette. You can kind of like see how reflective it is, and definitely super fingerprinty. This is a very inexpensive palette. To be honest, I can't remember the price right off the top of my head. I remember this, I felt like this was probably like under 20 bucks. I will definitely have to look at the price to double check. And this is what the palette looks like. So it has 9 eyeshadows and it has 2 face products, but of course you could always kind of use those as I guess eyeshadows as well. But this is going to be my palette. I also love that it has this super huge mirror in here. I feel like this would be like a really good, like this mirror is so good. Like you could, this is nice. So with this palette, obviously it's very warm, kind of neutrals. The only pop of color is that turquoise color here. So I'm gonna try to have to get creative with like using different products to kind of, I don't know, really make me not feel, what's the word, like deprived of eyeshadows and stuff. Because like I always say with these monthly challenge videos, I really try my hardest to stick to it and to really figure out, do I want to keep the palette? Is it worth keeping in my collection, or should I pass on to someone else who would really enjoy it and use it? So this will be my palette for the month of June. I think very summer appropriate, so I'm excited for that. As far as like the mix of colors, I think these are all shimmer with the exception of 2. So I typically like more mattes than shimmers in palettes, but these are all shimmers. That's a shimmer, 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 and then these 2 here are mattes. There is this kind of bronzer color that I could probably use for a matte shadow as well, but it's, you know, not too far off from these 2. And then of course the shimmer highlight product as well. I will do my best to try to use those face products as well in like my palette review. So that is pretty much it for my May monthly palette update video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, link is below, and until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.